Hey there. In this video, I have a reading for the summer cross quarter or winter, depending on where you are. But the cross quarter for me is the peak of a season. A lot of folks will have celebrated this time as lammas or lughnasadh on the 1st, but I actually honor the cross quarter dates on the astronomical day in which the sun enters the 15th degree of the fixed sign for that season. In this case, it would be Leo. And where I live, that was August 7th, which is when I filmed this video. I'm doing this voiceover on August 9th, and this will probably be uploaded on August 10th. My intention for this reading and any reading that I do on my channel is to sort of walk through what I see in this for myself, but also offer it to any viewer who sees something in it for them. So that is my intention for this reading. If you see something that you feel fits, please take it as yours. With all of the elemental energies that I've been feeling and drawn to lately, I really wanted to do an elementally based reading, which is what I've chosen to do here. And I've opted to use the Rain Shadow Tarot, which for me has a very, very deep sort of elemental backdrop. Claire Mack's oracles have that feeling for me as well. They're just very, very earth-centered, but also beyond earth-centered. It's that macrocosm, microcosm sort of interplay. And this deck has just really been kind of wowing me lately. I'm going to sneak in a quick clip of the Summer Solstice reading that I did for myself using the Tarot Classic. This is an out-of-print US Games deck. I lovingly call this my cotton candy deck, and it reminds me of summer, so I opted to do my summer reading with this, and all I did was a just sort of simple 12 card zodiac spread, one card for each of the houses. And I've been working with this reading since I did it on the summer solstice. So here I'm just laying out a card for all of the houses. And I've really been working on pulling in more of my personal correspondences and associations with bigger spreads like this. And I've been focusing a lot on certain houses as a result of this reading. I associate summer with water, and I associate water with the suit of cups in tarot. So for this season, I've really been focusing on my first house, my third house, and my 10th house because I received cup cards there. What you're seeing me do now is I'm working on separating the cards in the Rain Shadow Tarot into the minor arcana, each individual suits, and the majors. I'm separating them out, and I have a reason for that. I've now finished dividing the cards into their respective suits, and now I'm just working on gathering everything up. I associate coins or pentacles with the north, and so I put that in the north position. I associate wands with the south position. I associate cups with the west position, and I associate swords with the east position. And then the majors for me are ether, and I'm just putting them in the middle there because the ether touches everything. It's where everything comes from. The reason I separated the cards into their own suits is because I have been reading Intentional Tarot by Denise Hesselroth, and it's all about using tarot as a proactive tool and involving selecting certain cards to work with deliberately and purposefully. And so I'm tying some of this into this reading because I really want to examine where, based on where I am now, how I can best work with each of the elemental energies, sort of on a number scale, or people, if people show up, taking that into consideration. Basically, where I can best utilize the energy of each element going forward for the rest of the season. Here I'm shuffling each individual suit separately. I don't usually overhand, but I just felt called to do that today. And the earth position took considerably longer than the others, which I thought was interesting because I've mentioned in my vlogs that I've been struggling with my inner earth. That one felt right, so I pulled it out. And then I felt called to do the south position for wands, fire. So I'm just overhanding that. And setting the rest aside. And then next I felt drawn to the east position, or swords, air. And I'm selecting the cards purely on an intuitive basis, just visually or tactilely, the ones that felt correct. Water was really quick as far as feeling which one I needed to pull, and I've based on the result that I got, I found that to be interesting. And then there is my major for the ether position. Drink a coffee, and then I'm going to turn over the north position for earth. And I got the 2 of Pentacles, which was the most appropriate card I could have gotten for this position, because the 2s can be about balance. And I have been talking a lot about my inner earth and how it feels so unbalanced, and this is communicating to me that I have acknowledged that, and the best course of action is to put my attention and awareness on maintaining that balance as best I can. Next, I'll turn over the south position, wands, fire, and I got the 6. I love the number 6. It's a resonant number. It's a harmonious number. It is my life path number. It's a Venusian number to me. It's a very beautiful number. And 6s for me are often about alignment, and wands, fire is could be about action for me. So this is a reminder to put my awareness on aligning my actions to what I envision for myself, and that is how I can best work with the fire element this season. And if you look at the wand representation up there, they're all they're different, and so it's okay to maybe work on align my actions in various aspects of my life, maybe not put all my eggs in one basket in that regard, and really to not be afraid to work on various projects in different areas of my life. Now I'm turning over the swords position, east, air, and I get the queen, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. Court cards for me are the embodiment of behavior, and the Queen of Swords for me is my card for the embodiment of the behavior of receptive listening deeply and listening intently and listening from the heart. And I feel that working with the air element in the form of embodied receptive listening, being a good listener, could very much benefit me throughout the rest of this season. This queen has the butterfly there over the heart center. That's really beautiful. Now I'll take a look at the water west position cups, and I get the ace. This was the card that I chose really quickly, the card that felt right, made its presence known really quickly. And aces for me are the totality of potential of a suit, and I'm, for the remainder of the season, probably going to have a lot of brand new feelings. My son is leaving home. I'm going to be, at least for the time being, an empty nester, and there will be a lot of new feelings about a lot of things in my life. And it's okay to have those feelings and feel those feelings and just allow them to be part of my experience. And as I looked closer, the bird to me, I don't know if it's a hawk, but it reminded me of a hawk. And hawk happens to be my animal that I drew for the summer season during my year ahead reading. And so I went to get my hawk card from the Wild Unknown. And I think there might be something in that a bit further. And I'm going to sit with that for a while just to see what comes up, and I just felt called to leave that hawk card right there. And last but not least, the ether position, so the major arcana, and I got the Emperor. The Emperor is a card that's been showing up a lot for me lately, and it never really has with any regularity before. I'm not quite certain, but I think the moth depicted on this card is an emperor moth, which would make sense. And moths often are associated with transformation and death and rebirth, more like death energy. And so I'm actually tying that in and thinking ahead a bit to actually next year, because the Emperor is number 4. I'm having a personal year number 4 in 2024. And the Death card actually has a resonant frequency, numerological frequency with the Emperor, because the Death is 13. 1 plus 3 equals 4. And so it might seem, strange, but I actually started thinking about next year, like almost immediately. And so I will sit with that. But the majors for me are often about things that are outside of ourselves, things that happen around us, things that we don't necessarily have a perceived level of control over. Emperor energy brings divine order and structure to the Empress's beautiful and spontaneous chaos. And I can't help but make the connection between some sort of outside order or structure of things influencing me in a way that could be transformative. I'm just bringing that moth energy in, just because it's an interesting tie-in with death, just because numerologically they're part of the same frequency. And so that's going to be something I'm going to sit with for quite a while, and it's just one of those things that will reveal itself over time, like things do. So that was my quick intentional elemental reading for the summer cross quarter. I will leave links in the description box for the Rain Shadow Tarot by Claire Mack, as well as the book Intentional Tarot by Denise Hesselroth. And as I said before, if there is something in this reading for you, take it as yours. That's all I have for this video. Take care and be well.